Hello, welcome to Quilts and Other Happy Accidents. I'm Sherry. Today I have something special I want to show you and tell you about because I have a new addition to my sewing room. But it's not just for me, it's so I can share my love of sewing and quilting and crafts with my granddaughters. Let me tell you what happened. I was at the sewing lab where I do my volunteer work, and they get all sorts of donations. They get fabric and notions and threads and you name it. If it has to do with sewing, they get it, including machines. So I was cleaning up our volunteer room and I happened to notice this box that said free on it. And I peeked inside and there was a sewing machine in it. So as I got to the end of my volunteer shift, I asked the director, what's the story on that machine? And he said, we tried to sell it. Nobody wants it. We're going to give it away. I said, I'll take it home with me if that's okay. And he was like, please take it home. So the thing about the sewing lab is when they get the donations, they do check the machines to make sure they run. But then they also mark them and, if they need work or whatever. And this one said needs oil. I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer. I can oil a sewing machine. So I brought it home and I got it out of the box last night. And, well, come here. Let me show you what I found. When I unboxed it, I was like, well, first of all, holy moly, it's heavy. And second of all, I was like, it's in really good shape. I wonder how old it is. So I checked to see what else it came with it. And I got this box of stuff. And I got the original owner's manual. Look at that. This is dated 1975. So this is pretty exciting because that's around the same time I started sewing. Let's start by looking at the things that came with it. I did get the original instruction manual, which I think is amazing because I don't know that I've kept any instruction manuals ever, but that's not the point. Let's open our box of goodies. So we've got an extra plate. We've got some bobbins. Here's the thing to hold the thread. Maybe, I don't know what this is. We'll figure it out later. The original cleaning brush doesn't look like it's probably ever been used. Oh, good, a sewing foot. And some needles. I don't see a zigzag foot. Not really sure what that is. Maybe a zipper foot? I don't know. But this is the part that really surprised me. I have all these black things. They're numbered and they have a picture of stitches on it. So it must mean this machine can do other stitches other than straight and zigzag. That's cool. But it also explains this opening here because that one really perplexed me for a while. Yeah, this is actually does some embroidery stitches and some stretch stitches, which is kind of cool. Also means I'm going to need a wider foot. So let's look at the front of this and go with the owner's manual to see what we can see here. So this first button is well, there's the power switch. Yay! This is the stitch width selector. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see this better. So here is straight stitch, and then it changes widths as you go to the side. This is your needle position selector. Now it's in center, but it can go to the left or go to the right. That's useful. That means we can use it for things like hemming and zippers and whatnot. This is the pattern selector. When it's in the center like this, it's for the straight stitch. If you want to zigzag, you push it to the right. If you want to use a decorative stitch, push it to the left and put your chosen decorative stitch in here. Pretty cool. This is the stitch length. So stitches per inch, I assume, and then fine stitches and in place. It also has a buttonhole maker feature. So you have these, it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and you look at the picture and it shows you which part of the buttonhole you're making. And as you turn it, did you see how everything moved? Is that cool or what? And that's how you make your buttonhole. This is the reverse. It pushes in, and that's the reverse, which I've never seen a reverse like that. So that's interesting. Since the tag said needs oil, let's look inside and I'll show you where I oiled it yesterday. So I've got my handy dandy little screwdriver here. Let's take these screws out. I'm really encouraged that the owner's manual came with this sewing machine and that it's really kind of a heavy duty, indestructible sewing machine, because when I'm not around, I'm not sure what my granddaughters will do with this. Wow. I've always wondered what the inside of the sewing machine looked like, and there it is. I wonder why we don't know what our sewing machines look like. I guess it's because they're all computerized now. This is clearly not computerized. So the owner's manual indicated that you oil just in a few discrete locations where you can drop it in easily. I chose to oil pretty much anything that moved because I don't know how long this has been sitting around, and I didn't want to run the machine until I was sure everything was in working order. So I kind of just used my hand to make sure everything went around. And then when I got really brave and curious, I decided I would just push the foot pedal and see what happened. I guess it works better if you turn it on. Look how cool that is. So right now, because I have this stitch indicator on zigzag, this is connecting to this cam and moving the needle back and forth. If I put it back to baseline, even though that cam holder goes around, the needle is going straight up and down. Then if you decide you want to use one of these fancy little gizmo widgets, you snap it right in there, change your stitch width, and now you can see it's actually picking it up. Then to remove the cam, you push the center button and it releases. I'm really excited to give this a try. Let's put some thread in it and see what it does. Okay, I'm ready to thread this for the first time. Threading the machine, page 9. So this is a pretty standard thread pattern. First, it shows you how to wind the bobbin. That's good. All right, well, let's go ahead and put the bobbin in. Now, as I said, I took the needle out and I took the presser foot off while I was testing it. So let's get those things back in. There we go. All right, I've got the needle in, I've got my presser foot on. Okay, this is supposed to sit up here somewhere, but I don't think it's original to this machine because it doesn't fit at all. So let me get my extra thread stand out, and that's why we have them, I suppose. One of many reasons. Let's just thread this baby up. Take it out for a test drive. Oh yeah, if I didn't need my glasses before, I need them now. All right, let's pull our bobbin thread up. Beautiful. All right, let's take it for a spin, shall we? I am going to put it on straight stitch, center needle, straight stitch. We're going to just use a long stitch just to see how it works, if it works. Look at that, would you? It works. It purrs like a kitten. It doesn't have a thread cutter on it. Oh well, I didn't realize that was a modern invention. Look! Looks like the tension is set up pretty well. I don't know why it's puckering the fabric. Let's move the presser foot. Let's see what that does. Oh, that made it much worse. Oh, that fixed it. All right. It runs like a top. Nice. This is going to be great for the girls. I'm so glad you were here today to see the maiden voyage of my vintage Singer sewing machine. I probably have a few more tweaks to get it going, but I think it's going to be a really good, durable machine for young kids just learning how to sew. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Until then, keep quilting.